Elena Cole stood at the sink, rinsing dishes after another long night shift at the nursing home. The house was quiet except for the hum of the old refrigerator. Her husband, Raymond, sat at the dining table, tapping his fingers impatiently. His face carried the look of a man who had made up his mind about something terrible. "Elena," he said finally, his voice low but sharp, "I found a way out of our misery." She turned, still holding a damp plate. "What are you talking about?" Raymond slid a piece of paper across the table. It wasn't a contract, just a name and a phone number scrawled in bold handwriting. "There's a man uptown," he said. "Wealthy. No children. He's willing to pay $150,000 for a boy. Our boy." The plate slipped from Elena's hands and shattered on the floor. Her heart pounded as she realized what he meant. "You're talking about Aaron?" Raymond's lips twisted. "Think about it. One child sold, and the rest of us live better. Do you know how long we've been scraping by? Bills piling up, eviction notices. This is salvation." Elena's voice trembled. "That's not salvation. That's damnation. You're asking me to sell my son like he's a piece of property." Raymond leaned forward, his eyes cold. "You don't understand the kind of money I'm talking about. We'd never have to work another day. Elena, all you have to do is agree." She stared at him in horror. "I carried that child in my womb. I bled for him. I will never sell him." Raymond slammed his fist on the table. "Then you're choosing poverty over freedom. Don't forget, I'm his father. My signature is enough." Elena's blood ran cold. That night, as Raymond snored heavily, she sat awake, staring at Aaron's small face as he slept. Beside him was his little sister, Lila, clutching her warm teddy bear. Elena whispered, "No one will ever take you from me." At dawn, she packed a single suitcase, grabbed her children, and walked out of that house, leaving Raymond and his papers behind forever. Elena had no plan, only instinct. She took a bus across town, clutching the hands of Aaron and Lila. The driver noticed her pale face and trembling hands, but said nothing. They ended up at a women's shelter run by a church. The matron, Sister Ruth, took one look at Elena's tear-stained face and opened the doors wide. "You and your babies are safe here," she said gently. Elena collapsed into her arms. "Thank you," she whispered. Life at the shelter was hard. Crowded rooms, shared bathrooms, food that barely stretched. But it was better than the nightmare she left behind. Elena worked odd jobs, cleaning offices at night, washing dishes at diners, folding clothes at laundromats. Each time she held her children close, she told them, "I will never let anyone treat you like you're for sale. You are my treasure." Aaron, though young, understood more than she realized. He would watch his mother's tired eyes and whisper, "One day, Mama, I'll take care of you." Elena smiled through tears. "No, baby. My job is to take care of you." But deep down, a seed had been planted in Aaron's heart. By the time Aaron was a teenager, he had developed a sharp mind and an unstoppable drive. While his classmates joked around, he was always sketching ideas in notebooks, business plans, inventions, logos. "Why don't you play ball like the other kids?" Lila teased one afternoon. Aaron grinned. "Because the ball stops bouncing. But ideas, they never stop." Elena often worried that her son was carrying too much responsibility. "Aaron, don't work yourself too hard. You're still young." But Aaron shook his head. "Mama, I remember what Dad wanted to do. He wanted to sell me like I was worthless. I'll prove him wrong. I'll show the world I'm priceless." He started mowing lawns, fixing neighbors' phones, and eventually selling sneakers he customized with paint and fabric. By 17, he had a small following on social media for his designs. One night, Elena peeked into his room and saw him typing furiously on an old laptop someone had donated. His eyes were alive with determination. "What are you doing?" she asked softly. Aaron looked up, grinning. "Building the future, Mama." Raymond never forgot. Months after Elena ran away, he searched for them, knocking on doors and calling relatives. But Elena had vanished with the children, and no one was willing to betray her. Years passed. He remarried once, but the marriage collapsed under the weight of his bitterness. To anyone who would listen, he complained, "She stole my children. She ruined my chance at wealth." Meanwhile, Elena kept moving forward. Though the pain lingered, she focused on raising Aaron and Lila with dignity. One evening, Aaron asked, "Mama, why don't we ever see Dad?" Elena hesitated, then sat beside him. "Because some fathers don't know how to love right. But you are not for sale, Aaron. You belong to yourself and to God." Aaron clenched his fists. "Then I'll make sure one day he regrets ever thinking otherwise." By college, Aaron had earned a full scholarship. He studied business and computer science, while running an online sneaker business that exploded in popularity. Lila teased him, "You act like you're 40, not 20. Aaron laughed. "I don't have time to waste. Mama sacrificed everything. I'll make her proud." Elena worked double shifts at the nursing home to send Lila to school, but Aaron quietly began transferring money into her account. One night she found out. "Aaron, where did this money come from?" "From my business," he said proudly. "Mama, you don't need to kill yourself with night shifts anymore." Elena burst into tears. "Son, all I ever wanted was for you to have a chance. I never dreamed you'd be the one lifting me." Aaron held her hand. "You saved me, Mama. Now it's my turn." In 2020, during the pandemic, Aaron's sneaker company caught the eye of an investor who saw potential in his brand. A Zoom call changed his life. The investor said, "Aaron, your designs are fresh. Your story is powerful. I'll put in $500,000 if you're serious." Aaron swallowed hard. "I'm beyond serious. Let's build something that will outlive us both." By 2022, his company, Cole Apparel, had gone international. His designs weren't just shoes anymore. They were jackets, hats, and full fashion lines worn by celebrities. Magazines wrote, "The boy from nothing, building an empire." Lila laughed when she saw his first TV interview. "You talk like a grown CEO now." Aaron grinned. "Because I am one." It was only a matter of time before Raymond saw his son on television. One afternoon, sitting in a bar, he watched Aaron shake hands with a famous athlete wearing Cole sneakers. His jaw tightened. "That's my boy," he muttered, though bitterness poisoned the pride in his tone. He began asking around, finding out where Aaron lived, what events he attended. By 2023, Aaron was featured in Forbes under Young Entrepreneurs to Watch. Raymond showed up uninvited at a gala, waiting by the red carpet. When Aaron stepped out of a limousine in a sleek suit, cameras flashing, Raymond lunged forward. "Aaron, son, don't you recognize your father?" Aaron froze, staring at the man who had once wanted to sell him. His security guard stepped in, but Aaron raised a hand. "I know who you are," Aaron said quietly. "But you lost the right to call yourself my father the day you put a price tag on me." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Raymond's face burned with shame. Back home, Elena sat watching the news replay of that gala. She wept as she saw her son stand tall and reject the man who had betrayed him. Lila wrapped an arm around her. "Mama, you won. You saved us." Elena shook her head. "No, baby. Aaron won. He chose the right path. And the Lord honored it." Later that night, Aaron sat at the kitchen table with his mother. He took her hand. "Mama, everything I have is because of you. You ran when you could have stayed. You fought when you could have given up. That's why I'll make sure you never want for anything again." She smiled through tears. "Son, all I ever wanted was to see you safe. But seeing you this successful, it's more than I prayed for." Aaron kissed her hand. "Then let's build not just wealth, but legacy." By 2025, Aaron Cole had become one of the youngest black billionaires in America. His company expanded into technology, creating eco-friendly manufacturing plants that gave thousands of jobs to struggling communities. At his headquarters grand opening, he stood on stage, with Elena in the front row, tears streaming down her face. "My story is not just about business," Aaron told the crowd. "It's about a mother who chose love over money. A woman who walked away from betrayal and taught her children that they are priceless. If I am a billionaire today, it is because she refused to sell me for $150,000. Mama, this empire is yours as much as it is mine." The audience rose in thunderous applause as Elena stood, overwhelmed. Raymond, standing far in the back, lowered his head in shame. The man who once thought his son's worth was a price on paper now saw the truth. His son was worth more than gold. Raymond sat in a dingy apartment, staring at the television as Aaron's face filled the screen. The news anchor said, "At only 32, Aaron Cole is now one of the youngest billionaires in America, leading one of the fastest-growing companies in fashion and technology." Raymond's hands trembled around his glass of whiskey. "That could have been my life," he muttered, "if she hadn't taken him." His drinking buddy snorted. "Your life? Man, that boy did it himself. You nearly threw him away." Raymond's face hardened. "He's still my son." But deep inside, he knew the truth. He had traded his right to fatherhood for $150,000 that never came. And now, the world applauded the boy he had once dismissed as a price tag. One bright spring morning, Aaron's secretary walked into his office nervously. "Mr. Cole, there's someone in the lobby. He says he's your father." Aaron set down his pen. "Did you call security?" "I did, but he's begging to see you. Says it's urgent." Aaron sighed. "Let him in." Moments later, Raymond walked in, older, thinner, with streaks of gray in his beard. His eyes darted nervously as he faced his son. "Aaron," he began softly. I know I don't deserve your time, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry." Aaron leaned back in his leather chair, his voice cold but steady. "Sorry. Do you know what you asked my mother to do? Do you know the kind of scars you left?" Raymond's eyes filled with tears. "I was desperate. I was poor. I thought money would fix everything. But I was wrong." Aaron stood, towering over him. "You didn't just make a mistake, Raymond. You tried to sell me. And for that, I'll never call you father." Raymond lowered his head. "I understand. But I'll be watching, even from the shadows." Aaron turned his back. "That's all you'll ever be, a shadow in my story." With success came responsibility. Aaron gathered his team one evening and said, "We're not just going to sell sneakers and tech. We're going to change lives." Thus, the Elena Cole Foundation was born, dedicated to supporting single mothers, children in shelters, and families escaping abusive homes. At the launch event, Elena stood beside her son, overwhelmed as banners displayed her name. "This is too much, Aaron," she whispered. He smiled. "No, Mama. It's not enough. You saved me. Now we'll save others." The crowd roared as Aaron announced a $50 million endowment. Women in the audience wept, knowing their struggles had finally been seen. Lila, now a social worker, joined the foundation full-time. "We're going to heal families, Aaron," she said, "just like Mama healed us." Not everyone celebrated Aaron's rise. Old acquaintances from the neighborhood came forward, some with admiration, others with envy. One evening, a childhood friend approached him. "Aaron, remember me? I got a deal. If you just invest 100 million, we can flip it and triple your profit. Aaron shook his head. I didn't build this company to gamble. I built it to last. The friend sneered. Man, you changed. Money made you soft. Aaron leaned forward. No, money made me wise. And my mama taught me not every hand that reaches out deserves to be held. That night, he prayed quietly in his penthouse. God, don't let me become the man who almost sold me. Keep my heart clean. By late 2025, Aaron's story was taught in business schools. His face appeared on magazine covers, Time, Forbes, Black Enterprise. At a press conference, a young journalist asked, Mr. Cole, what's the secret to your success? Aaron smiled. A mother's love. Nothing else compares. He looked at Elena sitting proudly in the front row. If my mother hadn't run with us, if she hadn't worked herself to the bone, I'd be gone. So my secret, honor your mother, protect your family, and never, ever put a price on a life. The crowd erupted in applause. Elena wiped her tears, whispering to Lila, God has answered my prayers. One evening, Aaron took Elena and Lila back to the old neighborhood. The houses were worn down, the streets cracked, but Elena recognized the corner where she had once stood with her children and one small suitcase. Aaron pointed at the crumbling house where they had lived. That's where it all began. Where you chose us over money. Elena's lips trembled. I was so scared that night. I didn't know where we would end up. But I knew one thing. My children were not for sale. Aaron hugged her tightly. And because of that, Mama, the whole world knows our story. You turned fear into faith, poverty into power. Lila joined them, her eyes glistening. And this is just the beginning. Our family's legacy will outlive us all. They stood there together, three souls bound by love, stronger than betrayal, richer than gold. In the distance, Raymond watched silently from the shadows, his heart heavy with regret. He had lost everything that mattered. But Elena smiled, knowing she had gained everything that truly did.